What's up? How's the Legion of Comic Collectors doing tonight? Welcome to another episode of Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. I, of course, am Tim the Comic Collector, and I'm joined by Wonder Woman expert Magic Lasso. How's it doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good. We have the autograph collector extraordinaire, Tony Fett. What's up?
What's going on? Station, everybody.
And we have the expert builder of mystery boxes, Comic Fu. How's it doing? How's it going?
It's going well. I was getting nervous. I wasn't sure how you were going to introduce me.
Yeah. So, how was your week, gentlemen? Anything interesting?
Not long enough.
No.
Yeah. The weekend's ever long enough, even with holidays.
Yeah. It was at least nice here. We had like some low 80s weather. Got outside with the kids. That was nice.
It's already starting to snow in Wisconsin.
It's raining. It's raining, which comes right before the snow.
There's
Awesome.
two seasons in the Midwest, winter and summer.
Yeah, no, well, Wisconsin has two seasons, winter and July.
Winter in
True.
July.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It rains here like all year round. Like I swear we live next to the ocean. It just rains.
I like
Wow.
the rain, though. I don't mind it. Keeps my grass nice and green. Although I got to cut it after that, so maybe I don't like it. I like cutting grass, though. I get to put my headphones on, jam out, listen to some DC podcasts, and don't have to worry about, kid for a little while. Take my sweet time. Make sure every blade of grass is cut just right.
It's a sad day when the only way we can escape is by going to cut the grass.
Yeah. Now I got a riding lawnmower, so it's not like it's a lot of work.
There you go.
I've trained my kids. They know they could like climb on my head, but if they see I have a comic, they know to stay away, not to damage the comic. So I can just pick a comic up and they'll leave me be. They'll like talk to me from across the room if they have to.
Don't make me pick this comic book up.
Yeah. Well, they've each in their own destroyed a comic at one point and have seen the fury of, like I don't want to go to prison. You're lucky I love you.
Old radio.
What is up? Oh yeah, that's something that is going around too, ain't it?
Is that a bot?
I don't know. I have Kingdom Come.
I have an invisible jet.
I'm the man of steel. Because I can eat an entire plate of Chinese food in a single bound.
And I was lazy and forgot to wear my DC shirt, so mine's just a band T-shirt.
You're just a giant pixelated mess.
Am I? Is my connection bad again?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's not
Is
as bad
someone in
as
your house
last time.
using, like playing games or using broadband or something? Is that what the problem is?
I think maybe. Yeah,
I noticed it
I
on
don't know.
on your Mystery Man show. First, I thought it was my connection. Like, man,
No, it's been the last 2 weeks. I've been having issues.
who do you have?
Spectrum.
Oh, I don't know anything about them. I have Verizon. They've been all right.
It's a lot better than it has been. Like I didn't notice it till something was said. So.
Well, you haven't froze, so you're good. So that's good news.
Yeah.
So what's going on in the world of DC? You guys got any news?
Lots of news on the DC home front. Tons and tons and tons of news. I don't even know where to start. We all know that Robert Pattinson was in heaps of hot water for his the Batman performance. The way it sounds like a sequel, actually, legitimately this time is in question. Just because
Unless the movie makes gazillions of dollars. If it's a huge box office hit, it doesn't matter. There will be a sequel. Hollywood will not turn that money down.
I mean, Batman and Robin was a hit.
Now, it might have a different director.
That's true. Maybe Matt Reeves would be the one to go instead of this could all been prevented if they would have just taken Ben Affleck's Batman and his story.
Affleck.
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 Ben Affleck's story for Batman, which I heard was supposed to be really awesome and supposed to be some big Batman stories brought to the big screen for the first time. I would have been excited about it, but we'll see. Maybe Robert Pattinson will give the performance of a lifetime and put everyone's money where their mouth is. I will admit I was not thrilled when Ben Affleck was cast as Batman, but he showed me what's up pretty quick. I thought he did great.
So I got to watch the Titans this week, and I'm confused why that show isn't called Batman.
It is Batman heavy. How far did you get? Like what season?
I think I'm current.
You got all the way.
Is it
You're all the
7?
way up to season 3?
Yeah, I had seen season 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is a very heavy Batman storyline. But didn't you think that, what was it, the 3rd episode was really good?
See, maybe it was ruined for me because I heard so much hype about it. I mean, it was all right. I mean, I was disappointed in what happened.
Yeah, I was disappointed in what happened too because I like that character, but I just thought it was good.
Well,
I feel confused in Jason's motivation. They sort of immediately took away all of his comic book motivation, and it just sort of seems like he's really a bad person. Is what they're trying to say.
Yeah, it
would seem so.
You know what I mean? All the comic motivation is gone because Bruce did what he did. Try not to spoil for people in the chat, but
yeah,
it just sort of why would you do that to Jason? It makes him unlikable.
I think to make Titans ever so slightly better, I wish they would have kept Cyborg on the Titans show and not drag him over to Doom Patrol where it makes no sense at all.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, and half the cast is gone too. Where's Donna and Raven and everybody?
Well,
yeah, we'll get to that.
How can you say that without spoiling that?
We'll get.
Well, I mean, I understand where they are, but we could have done something to bring them back.
I agree. I agree.
Imagine being the actress who plays Raven and wait until 2 episodes at the end of the season and finally show up.
Well, some of these hour-long shows are 12 episodes long. Seasons. I don't know how long the season's going to be, but 7 in. There might only be 5 left.
13 episodes.
Yeah, 13. So over half the season.
With 13? Okay.
Yep.
That's good.
And then even what happened in season 3 and Dove just immediately leaves. That seems weird. It's almost it's like they don't know what to do with any of the characters that aren't Batman related. That's literally it's like the comics are happening on screen.
And it's
funny. This ain't Batman? What do we do with this person?
Reading some of the previews for season 3 of Titans, they're talking about how Blackfire is going to be the big bad, and everyone's going to It's episode 7 of 13. Nothing has happened with Blackfire yet. Nothing.
She's been entertaining.
She's very much a different character than how she was in the comic books.
Yeah. So she's going to be the big baddie because she kind of seems like the opposite now.
Yeah, she's part of. It was so weird. They went off and got her in the middle of all this life and death.
Yeah, I know.
See you later, guys. We're off on a road trip.
Go rescue my sister. Good luck with Jason Todd, though.
I think Beast Boy's been fantastic.
He's been very underutilized, in my opinion.
But he's really showing his emotion. I'm sort of tired of taking care of you people. Like you're all a bunch of wine bags. He pretty much said that in one episode.
The part I don't like with him though is the action scenes when he's he's fighting multiple people and he's doing all these martial arts moves and his stuff, and it's I mean, isn't the whole reason you're on the team that you can transform into a tiger?
Let's see.
I don't think where did he get the martial arts from?
He did those partial transformations with his hand and made it diamond or something like that. That's pretty. He's already more advanced than the comic version.
I did like that. I think it was the most recent episode where he kind of half morphed his head or face into a tiger so he can utilize the sense of smell a little bit better. That was cool.
Yeah.
I agree. Every time he gets into a fight, all of a sudden he's, some kind of martial arts expert, beating people down with guns. And I'm just like, shut up and be a tiger. Do something cool.
But I mean, taking away from the fact that it is Batman heavy, I mean, the Batman stuff is good. Like seeing Oracle and then seeing Oracle fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that villain she's fighting was like a Nightwing villain, Lady Vic.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
that's
some
pretty
reason,
cool stuff.
For some reason, when they said Lady Vic, it took me like 30 seconds to realize they weren't talking about Lady Cyborg.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why I got that, but
yeah. I mean,
overall, I think it's a great season so far. It's
I think it's better than season 2. My big problems are it's too Batman family heavy, and I don't like what they're doing with Jason. It's a weird motivation.
Yeah, it's different.
Like, just keep the motivation the same as the comics because that's perfect motivation.
Well, I think one thing that we haven't, mentioned yet too is something that's happening with Jason is really so they can put Tim Drake into the series.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, that's kind of what's happening. They're trying to rush a little bit faster maybe than they should in trying to get that character in there. So,
yeah.
But since we're talking about DC live action, a piece of news on Batwoman is coming back with season 3, and Bridget Regan has been cast as Poison Ivy in a reoccurring role for the season.
So she's
what a
gonna
waste
be
of a good villain on a terrible
the villain
show.
of the season.
Yeah, I can't believe they used Hush for season 2 as the big bad. Poison Ivy and Hush, fabulous villains. Terrible TV show, in my opinion, to waste them on.
I can't believe it made it to season 3.
Yeah,
much less 2.
That's the other part. We're on season 3. No one's canceled that show yet. Now
who's watching it?
Just they're keeping it on just to spite everyone else that hates it.
If you watch certain people on YouTube that show the ratings, I believe that has some of the worst ratings in CW history, and it had the biggest drop of a show.
I'll tell you what I don't understand. Yeah. Okay, I get there were problems with the original actress that played Batwoman, and they're going to replace her. That's fine. I get that because they created a new character to replace her with.
Sure.
But what they did in season 2 is kept dangling this carrot in front of us that the original one was coming back. She's alive. She's dead. It's a clone. No, she's dead. She's alive. She's had plastic surgery. Make a clean break. And let's just establish the new Batwoman then, the one that you fired.
I think what they should have done is they should have brought the original Batwoman back for 2 episodes, something like that.
I think the problem is, I think
she don't want to come back.
That's it. There were problems with the production people and the talent.
Right.
And that was not going to happen. What they should have done is had her film some stuff, while they still were doing season 1, if they could have, and put it in the can for season 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Or just say season 1, okay, she's out, we're canceled, see you later.
Yeah.
we could do a whole episode about why CW's bad.
They used to be good.
Yeah.
It used to be good. I haven't watched it in years though.
I haven't either.
Did you guys notice I only noticed at one of the end of the episodes. I didn't look it up or nothing, but one of the ends of the Titans episode says written by Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know he's doing Stargirl, which is probably why it's head and shoulders above the other CW shows. But I didn't know he was involved with Titans.
Yeah, he's still one of the producers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So that's
Jeff
why
Johns is the big liaison between DC coming to any form outside of a comic book.
Yeah.
It's really funny with the politics lately and cancel culture, and I guess with the whole Cyborg Ray Fisher issue, his name came up and everyone's been trying to cancel Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver too, of course. But it's funny because every DCEU movie, both of them have been credited every single time, and people hate it.
That's because they created so much, and that's what they're trying to make. They want the good stories to make these shows. Where you kind of have to go to Jeff Johns if you want a good recent DC story.
And it's funny because James Gunn called out Ethan Van Sciver and Jeff Johns exclusively for their for their help in translating books to film, helping fill the gap. I giggle when stuff like that. I don't know why. It doesn't matter, but it just makes me chuckle at the end.
If we really live in cancel culture, these CW shows wouldn't make it this far.
That's funny.
Did you guys, real quick transition, did anybody read or finish up Infinite Frontier? This is the big where DC continuity is going. I thought the first 5 issues are great, and I won't spoil it. But basically what happened, it's something that I think Bendis really started. I would call it the art of the non-story. It's just a story that's really an advertisement to get you to buy the next story. And that's really what happened in issue 6. It's sort of like, something happens in the fight where Darkseid could kill everybody, but instead transports them back home. And it's like, make sure you check out Justice Incarnate and the next Crisis, the coming winter 2022. And it's like, you quit telling the story in mid-story to advertise the next story. And the ending of the story didn't make sense or matter. It was like, we're up to issue 6. Let's just have everybody go their separate ways for no reason. Yeah. It makes me so mad that, that's what used to drive me crazy about Scott Snyder with this Justice League non-ending. It's like we tell this epic story, but we don't have an ending. It's just tune into the next story.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. Do you guys remember the name Mary Elizabeth Winstead? She played the Huntress in Birds of Prey movie.
Oh,
confirmed to come back.
Why?
Doesn't say what project it is. Just said that she's in talks to reprise her role in an upcoming DCEU project.
The Black Canary?
No. Huntress.
Oh, Huntress.
And speaking of reprisals, Jesse Eisenberg also in talks with Warner Brother to reprise his Lex Luthor role.
No,
I thought he was good.
So wrong. He got that
good.
So wrong. No.
Yeah.
If somebody could teach him the difference between Luthor and Joker, I'd be down for it. Because outside of that movie, he's a fantastic actor.
It wasn't great.
No.
Wonder Woman 3, Circe. Some potential casting calls out there. I think it'd be awesome. Circe in the DCEU. Come on.
Isn't that crazy? That we're already talking about a Wonder Woman 3 movie. Of all the DC characters, it's been Wonder Woman that's really been the most successив.
Yeah, killing it.
We're getting the most sequels of now too. It's crazy.
Think about it like this. We've way back. You guys put your time travel pants on. We're going way back. They announced that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is playing Black Adam. They've come up with the idea of Wonder Woman, cast Wonder Woman, film all the way up to 3, and we haven't even gotten one Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson cameo as Black Adam. And that was
come on. We got a clip art style trailer. I mean, what more do you want, Tony?
No one wants a clip art style trailer. I don't want that. Nobody wants
We're getting an Aquaman 2.
Yeah, we're getting an Aquaman 2.
Before a Batman or Superman 2. Or Justice League 2.
That's what I'm saying. I know. It's crazy.
We haven't gotten one Black Adam thing.
As much as I dislike the writing of the second Wonder Woman, she's had the best writing of the movie so far. And even the Aquaman wasn't bad. It was just too much in one movie.
Too much.
See, I liked Aquaman. Yeah. I thought Aquaman was great.
It was. If they took half of the plot and if they split the movie in half, turned it into 2 different movies and extended each part just a bit, it would have been great.
Yeah, it was like they tried to do the whole New 52 run, the whole Jeff Johns New 52 run in one movie.
Yeah. Right.
The Trench. You know how awesome a horror style Trench movie with Aquaman would be?
But isn't Aquaman 2 about the Trench? It seems like they're going. I thought they were going back
in the Lost Kingdom. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Trench is heavy in the second movie.
Well, I heard it was a prequel, and I'm like, a prequel to what? He just become Aquaman.
Yeah, you're right. There's no prequel. But the Black Manta is coming back, and Ocean Master. So I don't know. I have no idea. Both of them are still alive.
One thing that I'll say about the first Aquaman movie that I really like, there were battle scenes with Black Manta that, to me, when I was watching it for the first time in the cinema, I said, this looks like comic book panels come to life. And I really like that.
Yeah.
So they canceled the trench to do whatever this issue.
Well, maybe the trench is still somehow tied into it. I mean, who knows? They haven't even begun production yet, so everything's still up in the air.
Yeah.
But I think he's still doing the Aquaman movie.
Yeah, we've seen photos from the Aquaman, like his new costume and everything.
Yeah, so maybe that'll start up production here soon. Staying on task with Wonder Woman, Chris Pine. Guess who he's playing in the new Wonder Woman movie?
One thing that I'll say about Chris Pine, though, he and Gal Gadot have amazing chemistry together.
Yeah,
it's very believable.
Although I am kind of bummed out. I thought he would make a really great Hal Jordan.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, unpopular opinion, Chris Pine is the best Captain Kirk ever.
I don't do Star Trek, so I'm going to take your word for it. Yeah. I think Amber Heard is still Mara. Amber Heard is still Mara. I think that's still the case.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to follow all that drama.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Just make me a good movie. Dance, clown. Do the thing. I don't care about how you live your life. Just do the thing. It's like sports athletes. You get paid $10 million to catch a ball. I don't really care how you live your life. Just catch the ball.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I couldn't even follow that whole drama. I was like, I can't even figure out who's supposed to be the bad guy in all this. Y'all sound like creeps to me. Like, I couldn't care less.
Maybe it's getting older. Maybe it's common sense. But the second I hear that stuff, it's like, I'm out. Like, I don't care about this project, these people anymore ever again.
Yeah, but that kind of wraps it up for me. A lot of movie news. I'm sure they're keeping some of it tight under wraps for the DC fandom event.
It's because they're waiting on Discovery purchased DC Rust, but they don't take over until I think the middle of next year. So DC really can't do anything but tread water.
That's true. That's true. Just hang in there and keep on keeping on. So hopefully, middle of next year, we'll start to see things improve in terms of content quality. But who knows? I wouldn't even do a fandom. It'd be tough to get people excited for projects that are probably dead after next year anyway.
Is anybody reading Get Joker?
The Suicide Squad? Yeah, I'm an issue behind, but yeah.
Oh man, that story is so good, and
it is so good.
I watched a video and I didn't even know there was a deal about Mark Waid. I guess he's been canceled.
Yep.
But he's coming back with Brian Hitch, the artist Brian Hitch, to do a Superman Black Label story. That was announced.
Yep.
So I'm watching this YouTube video and it's like, I had no idea people didn't like Mark Waid. Like,
insert stupid reason they canceled him.
Yeah.
When you're canceled, it seems like you just go in timeout before you come back.
But the Black Label stuff, it's been good. Like Superman and Lobo 2, really good.
I didn't do the Superman Lobo one.
Dave, I know you're always late to get your books, but you should definitely try to get the Black Label books when you go. Okay. One, because they're good, and two, because I say this constantly, people get tired of it. I think they're going to be harder to get later on in good shape.
I agree.
Because of the different size.
And especially the variant covers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, nope. Norin Rad brings up a good point. Puzzle Box has been surprisingly good.
Haven't read it.
If you're a Batman fan and you enjoy seeing the Batman's Rogue Gallery, I mean, it's a good story too, but it's just sort of fun as a Batman fan to read. And I sort of regret picking it up at first, like another Joker book. But it's good.
Yeah. Get Joker for sure. If you haven't picked it up or read it yet, it is worth it.
It's probably the best book going. I might have said that about Infinite Frontier up until the last issue, but Get Joker is probably the best book out there right now.
I'm hearing that. I'm not reading it, but I'm hearing a lot of people saying Nightwing is maybe DC's best book right now. And a lot of people, even though it's a young book, have been pretty happy with that Son of Kal-El.
Yeah.
I've heard that too.
They do. That article I sent you guys was pointing something out, and I think both books are Tom Taylor, and Tom Taylor's sort of trying to inject real world problems and put it on Batman and Superman's shoulders that they should fix them.
Isn't
and
he
putting
doing
Nightwing and John in the position of, well, we're going to fix them. And that article is pointing out, like, Tom Taylor loves to blame Batman and Superman, like, for our real world problems, but he doesn't really handle those situations very well in the book. He's almost using them as plot devices. It's a really good read, but that's sort of the idea I'm getting from both those books. It's like, well, let's whine at Batman and Superman for not doing enough.
Yes, I agree. Batman Reptilian has been very good. This is another strong one going forward. Is it Black Label? Oh yeah, of course it is. Look at that. It's a Black Label. Of course it's good.
Oh, that's something like I don't know if we talked about it last week. Like, a lot of DC writers are leaving for the other opportunities. They get paid better.
Substack.
Was it Substack? Jeff Johns went to Image and has his own label there. And he's bringing a lot of the DC people like Peter Tomasi and I forget some of the writers and stuff with them. You know, the DC fired their staff, but the creative talent's sort of leaving on their own.
You know, it's really funny. Yeah. They fired and all these people are leaving. Essentially all they did was shoot themselves in the foot because they're just going to the competition.
Yeah.
They had to have known that. They had to have known that.
I was watching another YouTuber, I think it's Critical Thinking, and I had never seen this guy before, and he's the guy I watched that was talking about Mark Waid too, but he was bringing a good point. Like, they fire all these editors, these senior people that have been with DC for years. They go get other jobs. Well, to other editors at DC and other, creative people, it's like, there's no structure at DC, but I could go to this guy I know at Image or Top Cow, whatever, and know I have a job for 5 years or 6 years.
Yeah.
When Discover takes over, we don't know what they're going to do. They might say, hey, we want to make DC Comics the best it ever was. Or they could be like, why do we have a print division? Let's get rid of that. Like, you really don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they could do
but
a
on the flip
reverse.
side too, saying that you wrote for Batman or you wrote Superman or you wrote Detective Comics or Wonder Woman or Green Lantern or Flash or whatever, that's pretty good to put on your resume, Yeah.
That's what he actually made that point of Tinian leaving. He said, in the comics world, there's no bigger thing than to say, I write Batman. And he's like, you know how big that is for someone to willingly give that up to go to an unknown thing like Substack? The most prestigious writing job in comics. And he's like, I'm leaving.
But as much as we bag on some of the creative team that there is right now, there are some good people. That Jorge Menez, his artwork is really good.
What's he doing?
Batman.
He does Batman,
the current run of Batman. Okay.
Yeah. Although I'm partial to it because I'm a Wonder Woman fan. Travis Moore, who's their artist right now, he's really good. Yeah. Their writing team over there, Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad, they're really good. So there is still some talent at DC.
That was something I mentioned in a haul video a couple weeks ago. Is I cut what I pick up down to just get the good stuff. And when you do that, it's like, man, it's really good stuff, but it's almost 50-50, which you're going to get with a bunch of untested people. But there is really good stuff. Like,
there's some good stuff out there yet.
Robin's good. I mean, a lot of good stuff.
I'm going to ask this to you. You're a big Wonder Woman fan. Where's the better Wonder Woman, current right now, or is it Rebirth, the first half with like Greg Rucka, Nicholas Scott?
But see, those are two completely different Wonder Womans. They're literally night and day different characters.
I totally agree.
I'm more partial to what's going on currently because it reminds me more of the Wonder Woman that's my favorite. However, I will give Rucka and when Cliff Chang was doing it too, and I'll give them credit for being creative with that title. My problem with that title is they wanted to tell one story and one story only, and that story lasted 40 issues, and that's too long to tell a story. I I was interested in it, and after a while, when you're a couple years into this, you start going, I want something else now. I'm kind of done with it. But it was creative, and it sold well. So, yeah. But I like what's going on now. A year ago, I wouldn't have said that, because a year ago, it was her book, but she was barely in it. It was the Maxwell Lord book.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they thought they had a movie that was just about to drop in theaters, and they wanted the story line with him in it to coincide with that. And she was barely in the book.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
And maybe a year or two before that, it was all about Darkseid's daughter Grail. And there was one issue of Wonder Woman, I kid you not. Wonder Woman was in 4 panels of the entire issue, and the rest was Grail. I was ticked.
That's another thing that drives me nuts.
This is junk. I didn't buy Grail. I bought Wonder Woman.
Every character's got a daughter now. No one really has any sons. Lobo's got a daughter. Everybody's got a daughter.
Do you like Wonder Girl?
Nobody's got any sons.
No one's got any sons. Just Batman and Superman, and that's it. Everyone else has a daughter. It's true. It's true.
Yara, I haven't read issue 3. Finally came out. I haven't gotten it yet to read it. She hasn't done anything, and anything that I've read yet. I need her to do something. Every time I read Yara, she's getting ready to do something, but she doesn't do anything. And the fact that they're publishing is so far behind on that book, we should be up to like issue 5 already, and issue 3 just came out.
You just described what I was talking about with current DC writing. We're always about to do something, but we never quite do. But make sure you pick up the next issue, because we might.
I'm not against it, but I wanted to see her do something. I'm ready to do something now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's talking about Dead Earth or Dead World, whatever it was.
Dead Earth, yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
That was a good one. I like that one.
I thought the writing on that was amazing. The artwork was not so much my favorite.
I liked both. I would agree that the artwork isn't my favorite, but for a standalone quick story, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit over halfway through, so we'll transition. Dave, I don't know if you have a cutoff or not, but do you want to take issue 4?
Sure.
Yeah, we should probably let you go first. Go for it.
Does anybody have the digital to pop up, or?
Oh yeah. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, but mine never seems to pop up.
I got you.
And this issue, by the way, is called Super Freaks. Just saying. You can sing the little song in your head. We can't play it for copyright reasons.
All right, there it is.
All right.
August of 2003.
Set it up. Okay.
What was I in 2003? Oh, it was a freshman. I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so
yeah, 1903 maybe.
Oh man, I'm not Stevie. All right, so let's see. We pick up here with the Justice League, the JLA, kind of in this building that is the last stop of the valley for these monsters that are attacking. And you've got Kyle and Superman and Martian Manhunter in the sky kind of fighting these things. They're starting to make a little bit of progress, but Superman's getting tired, and he gets caught up in these tentacle type things that are... They've got these little teeth on them. Let's see. We've got...
What is plastic?
What did plastic... I was just going to say, I have no idea. Half of these books, I couldn't tell what the heck Plastic Man was even doing. I think he was just fooling around.
He's dodging something.
I guess, yeah, but it's very strange. Yeah, very strange. I'm trying to remember what happened at this part.
Look at that Rainer action right there.
I'm surprised his ring stayed on for this long.
I gotta say, there was a scene here. Are you serious, Tim? Rainer can't put a Green Lantern protective bubble around somebody and fly at the same time. Like, how is that too much for his powers while he's Ion of all things?
Now, is this
I don't remember
Wally
that part.
West? I forget. Or is this Barry?
Yeah, it's
Just
Wally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barry don't come back till Final Crisis.
Okay.
Yeah, Wally seems pretty ineffective through this entire story. Like his powers just don't seem to work very well on these creatures. But let's see. Yeah, Flashlight hits him with like tons of these like incendiary rounds as he's like throwing it really fast, but it doesn't really do much. Meanwhile, I don't even know what you call these things, these monsters, I guess. One of them grabs a hold of John, the Martian Manhunter, and the fingers go right through him. And at that point now, he is suddenly infected, much like Wonder Woman. But Batman rushes in at just the right moment and, of course, catches him and helps Martian Manhunter to safety. And at that point, the tentacles are coming for both of them. And again, Batman isn't super effective against these things. He's doing his best, but I mean, they're much larger than him. And that's when, what's her name? Kishana Lewis shows up and with her shotgun. And that seems to hold them off, though, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I know. You've got the Justice League here, but she shows up with a shotgun. That's all. What's really weird is, and I noticed that this entire series, the artwork, things come and go. Like I've actually noticed panels where like Wonder Woman was changed and then she wasn't, and then she was again. And I kind of feel like this is the same thing with Martian Manhunter. He still has like the fingers coming out of his chest, but then they're not there in the next panel, and they're not really there in the previous panel either. So yeah. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, he's injured. He's on the ground. You've got Plastic Man turning himself into a human wheelbarrow, to escort Martian Manhunter out of there, out of the battle zone. And let's see. We've got basically the League doesn't really know what to do. Batman and Superman are kind of like trying to figure it out. They're realizing that each time that they attack this thing, it's kind of like Doomsday. Honestly, that's what I was thinking as I was reading this. Like it seems to get stronger. It's evolving, and it seems to adapt to each of their special attacks, right? As a JLA member. Again, Diana is still like transforming into something, we don't know what. Although I gotta say, it looks kind of cool. Yeah. What do you think, Lasso?
You know, I like anything that gives her attention. So
okay, there you go.
Probably the best form of Wonder Woman ever, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Sorry about that. So anyway, they're also realizing that this house that they're in is there for a purpose. Like they're realizing it's in this great strategic position, and they need to kind of explore this house a little bit more. They also want to evacuate any civilians that are in the area. So they're talking about moving all these kids out of the way. And I think this is the part. Yeah, this is the part where they're starting to explore this mansion again. Specifically, there's a library and Superman, which I found this a little interesting. It was Superman, not Batman, that's actually going through all of the books, which I was kind of expecting Batman would be the one doing all the research, but it was actually Superman this time around. Plastic Man turns into a key and gets his head stuck in the door, in the keyhole specifically. And I may have missed it, but who is this guy that's walking around?
I think he's like the caretaker of the mansion.
Okay. You're talking about William Hume, right?
Yeah, like the manager or something.
Yeah. And like, so he's like, he's talking with them and like helping them out. But at the same time, he's thinking, you get these word bubbles of what he's thinking in his head. And it's clear that he's up to no good. He's behind this or trying to sabotage the Justice League in some way.
If only the team had a telepath.
Yeah, right. If only.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, he's injured, remember?
Yeah, there he is, right there, thinking evil.
Yeah, right there. Let's see. Yeah, so Superman's going through this book. Again, he's starting to find that the guy that built this originally kind of built this there to kind of hold off these creatures. And they've at the same time, I guess Batman is doing some kind of like molecular analysis on something he took from one of them. And they're beginning to realize that these creatures must come from, I guess it's like another dimension where they come from, where it's absolute zero where they come from, which is why their molecules are able to come together in this way, I guess. But that when they come here to our world through this portal, that they are evolving super quickly and are able to gain some kind of power. And the longer they're here, the more power they get, which is why they're guessing they want to come to our world so badly. So let's see. They go back out to the fight, and there's like these giant arms. Kyle is chopping them off with a giant meat knife, butcher's knife, and oh yes. And at this point, Wonder Woman shows up with a bow and arrow and says, "Hey, Superman, I got what you asked for." And she's got water balloons filled with water, tied to a bow to an arrow, and she shoots it into the forest where these creatures are coming from. And Superman blasts it with his heat vision, and it turns it into, I don't know, some kind of like solar plasma, I think Batman said. I've never heard of that before. You can apparently superheat water into solar plasma.
And we drink it.
Yeah. So
I'm sure it's doing something to the atom, so like a mini nuclear reaction with the hydrogen in it or something.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now, did you guys catch what Wally did here though? He says, "Yo, comic book guy, this is pure Lee Kirby."
Yeah.
Like, okay. I mean, I don't really quite understand
I don't like
that.
it when they do that stuff. I don't like it when they do that stuff.
Fourth world breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, but you got to remember, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it's Chris Claremont who wrote this, right?
Yeah.
And I got to say, a lot of this book, like, because I read all 6 issues this afternoon to catch up with you guys, a lot of it felt like an X-Men book to me. So I did find that little word bubble kind of amusing. It seems so out of place, though. I wasn't sure why they did it.
So the X-Men are like always confused and can't really do anything.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
To some extent, I suppose.
Trapped in a giant mansion.
Yeah. All right, where are we at? Let me blow through this here. Plastic Man. Yes, he's got the most important job. I mentioned there's these kids in the house, and so he takes it upon himself to entertain them by turning himself into all kinds of funny shapes.
You saw earlier he's a key character of this team.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. What would they do without him?
Win.
Get elongated, man.
Save. Yeah,
right?
get the elongated man.
Oh yes, and at this point, John is starting to change. I think when he was cut by these creatures, he's beginning to morph just like Wonder Woman did. So there's some kind of venom or something that transforms them. But at the same time, it creates this bond with is Kashana? Is that it? Yeah. With her telepathically, and she can kind of visit some of his past memories of Mars and things like that. Wonder Woman, this isn't the first time either. She said something in another panel like, "Batman, look at me. I used to look so perfect." Well, she's still mainly concerned with how she looks right now, which is a little odd. So she puts on a shirt to cover up her mutating arm.
You can see like the spike sticking out of it. It's
right.
cool.
Yeah. So, but that's apparently what's on her mind at the moment. Meanwhile, they are trying to think of, each one of them are like, okay, start thinking about your powers and what you can do to generate fire, because obviously fire is what is hurting these monsters. Meanwhile, what's his name? Hume, the caretaker guy, he's going down talking about like make your plans and gather your weapons. None of that's going to save you now. He's actually opening a door to this other portal is what's happening, like down in the basement or something.
They never really do explain that guy.
They never explain him. No. And that's
like,
why
I'm pretty sure he just disappears.
He does. Yeah. No, nothing happens of it. We don't know what his motivations are or any of it. And John, meanwhile, is like he's like still in this like vision with Kashana, and she's experiencing him burning and the weakness that he has to fire. And in doing so, I think that kind of gives them the secret of something that happened in his past of basically like this there's a volcano. I took it that was happening on Mars in the past, if I was understanding it correctly. Yeah, but as he's burning and experiencing all of this, she then kind of puts her hand on him. She begins to glow and she heals him completely, heals his transformation, heals the wound. And so she clearly has some kind of additional power that we're just learning about.
You know what the best part of this is?
What's that?
She heals him, and at no point are they like, "Can you help Wonder Woman?"
Yeah.
We should heal Wonder Woman.
No, instead, just out of the blue, they start making out. So, yeah. So now they're a thing in the middle of the battle. You know, well, we'll see in the next issue. They take a little time out. So I guess it wasn't quite as bad as they made it out to be. But yeah, it ends up with this caretaker guy opening up the doorway to doom, I guess. So, and I will hand it off here.
So Dave, when do you have to bounce?
2 minutes ago.
Well, is there anything as far as like book shows shouting at your channel and or giving a review of the 6 issues real quick before you go?
Sure. I didn't bring a book show tonight. As far as what's going on my channel, nothing too much. I guess building a mystery. We'll be back on Tuesday night. As far as this book, though, I enjoyed that it was a one-off story. And for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a couple things that they didn't wrap up that or didn't make sense that kind of confused me a little. But overall, I liked it. The art was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5 overall.
Cool.
Very cool.
But yeah, and I am sorry that I do have to leave, but again, I've got an agreement with my wife that I'll end it at 8. So
no problem. Well, you have a good week, man.
All right. It was fun hanging out, guys. I'll catch you later.
Peace.
See you.
See ya.
Not you in the chat. You stay. You stay.
Yeah.
So I think Tony's taken 6 and Ryan wants to just comment. So I have issue 5. So we start off here. You see the Martian Manhunter, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce her name right, so I'm just going to call her Key in bed. And all throughout the story, they've sort of had a psychic bond where they're seeing each other's past. And my take is they're seeing these firefighters walking into the forest like at the beginning of the book. But they come across like this giant white buffalo. And the buffalo isn't a buffalo, it's really a shaman.
Like a Native American shaman.
Yeah, like a bird lands on her shoulder, and like that could only be Thunderbird. And, you know, they fall off a cliff, and, you know, the possessed people are coming towards them, and they wake up from the dream. You know, so then we switch inside the castle. The Justice League still doing what they were doing while the evil caretakers letting the monsters in. Wonder Woman sort of gets a premonition, and she's like, you know, I'm going hunting. Well, as you know, there's more talking, and you know, basically Wonder Woman discovers this guy's let the people in, and she engages. in combat with the monsters. The Justice League, Martian Manhunter, Superman take off, and Batman's just like, Key seems to be important, so I'm gonna stand here and try to figure some stuff out with her. We flash back to Wonder Woman, and she's finally starting to get completely overtook by the monsters when Jade, who we've sort of forgot about, a very capable hero, isn't, they point out she isn't part of the League, but she shows up, and I guess this is where the Caretaker, he just gets destroyed with the monsters, because I think this is the last time we see him, but they don't really, in any other comic, Jade would be like, oh no, I killed a human. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then she's like, oh, I rescued Wonder Woman. Well, this is when we see Wonder Woman is like fully transformed. I guess maybe the extra bites and poison finally took control. So she's like possessed fully by these monsters. Well, Batman and Superman, John and Superman, because they need different ways to create fire. They decide, to activate this dormant volcano, something that could destroy miles and miles around, but they're relying on Kyle to basically, protect the hotel and keep this volcano contained. Well, he does, but like these things are adapting so quick that they've turned this, volcano almost immediately into rock, and the water is starting to freeze again. And then this is where we see it. Key is inside Plastic Man as this issue ends, and they're going. I think they're going to the lake to have Key do something, and that's when this issue ends. That the fully possessed and transformed Wonder Woman is in their way, which is a pretty big obstacle for basically a stretchy guy and two non-powered humans to deal with.
Yep. Lasso, your thoughts on this issue 5?
First, I'll say that with the previous issue number 4, for whatever reason, I thought that was just a slow read for me. It took me back to kind of like issue number 1, which was a slow read for me. And, it got a little better. This issue that Tim just talked about, I liked a lot more. I thought the action picked up a bunch. However, in terms of the artwork, there was one panel in that previous issue where Wonder Woman's getting ready to say that she's going to go out hunting. And it's during that time that, she's wearing that sweater again. And I'm just going to say it just the way it is. Her breasts were drawn so enormous. They're drawn bigger in most of the panels, but in that panel especially, I was like, are you kidding me?
But it makes sense, Ryan, because she's transforming into a monster, so she'd have monster breasts.
Well, she didn't have them. They didn't look as big in the rest of the book. But that one panel, apparently she had on the Wonder Bra.
The Wonder Bra. You see, I don't think me and Tony noticed because we don't pay attention to that sort of thing in comic time.
Yeah, we're both married men.
Exactly.
You'll be going back after the stream ends and going, what page was that?
Real quick. Yeah, wait for me to ask you in the Instagram chat.
Yeah.
But moving on here, issue 6.
And look there she is in Plastic Man.
Yeah, right here, right?
And I'm pretty sure as soon as we click in, she's out of them already, right? Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman is like in her full demonic form. They're headed to the lake. But in this issue, it's a pretty big fight between Demon Wonder Woman and Batman. And he's telling Plastic Man and what's her name? I can never remember. To go, he's going to hold off Wonder Woman. It's a pretty good scrap, in my opinion. They had a lot of fun. But I got to give my boy Plastic Man here, this panel was hilarious. He just takes the shape of the tree and he's trying to hide behind it, which is cheating, in my opinion. You can't do that. they get attacked by some kind of monster. It looks like it might have gotten him. Maybe not.
It hit a tree and all the splinters got him.
Yeah, but I don't know if that counts as like him getting infected. But I guess we'll find out. Superman and Jean are fighting the monsters, and they remember that fire. And then they see what they assume to be the shaman. It is a white deer or reindeer of some kind. They hop on, they take off, cut back into the mansion. Jade and Flash are holding off even more monsters that have come in with the hotel guests, which I thought was pretty funny. Cut back to the forest. They throw a spear at this white deer and it dies. Or does it? But it turns out it was Wonder Woman. She caught up with them. Somehow this young lady can tangle with Wonder Woman. So that's something I didn't see coming. And have you guys ever seen the movie The Thing?
Mm-hmm.
No.
This panel right here reminded me of that movie. The scene where they have the dogs, sled dogs, and they get attacked by the alien. That movie terrifies me to this day. That is a scary movie. The good one, the 80s one, not the terrible 2010 remake. So this deer is now a monster thing, and it's got everybody. It has almost everybody. I forget who's left, and I love the fact here that Wonder Woman is using Plastic Man as a lasso.
Yeah,
which is pretty funny.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like, maybe Plastic Man did turn. And then it's like, nope, Wonder Woman has him by the throat.
So Superman and Jean come in. Wonder Woman quickly makes headway of them. And it looks like Jean is cooked. But he remembers that this lady is just some kind of fire entity. So he lights her on fire with his heat vision. And that
This is what I'm talking about, a weird ending. Like, they basically imply she's the descendant of the original shaman on the mother's side.
Yep.
And then they just ignite her into a supernova with his Martian vision. That's weird.
And I love this. I love what they do here on the sides of this panel. It goes all the way down the side with a lot of stuff happening in the middle. So it is a lot to look at. There's really no wasted space here, and that's pretty cool. And that's it. They won. Somehow Wonder Woman's back to being Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? It's over.
The blast nuked the lake, dissolved all the water, and all the trees in the area disappear. This valley's dead.
Yeah. And it's over just like that. Just set her on fire, turn it on, boom. She's toast. Everybody's back to normal. I guess she's kind of embraced her heritage now. She turns into a female Martian. So her and Jean can kiss or something. And that's kind of where we end up. This is a very anticlimactic ending.
Yeah, they imply that John can't. If John touches her too long, he'll die because she's a fire being now.
Yep.
So let's give our grades on the whole story 1 through 6, and we'll just go clockwise. Ryan, what do you think?
First, before I give my grade, I just want to say just real briefly about this issue in this series overall. As Dave mentioned earlier, with Chris Claremont writing this, is this just an X-Men story or whatever? And I can't tell and it doesn't seem so much X-Men to me, but it seems like it could have been, and maybe would have worked better as an Alpha Flight story, especially with the characters that Alpha Flight has, including a shaman. That might have worked for them. I don't know if this is a story he pitched to Marvel for Alpha Flight, and they said no, so he just saved the story and brought it to DC. But it does end pretty sadly for Martian Manhunter. I mean, he gets the short end of the stick. Yeah. All in all, when it's done. And that, in a weird way, humanizes the story a little bit more. You know, it makes it a little bit more relatable that there's someone that you want to be with, but for whatever reason you can't. It's that great true love. Now, has this character, the girl, have they done anything else with her ever anywhere else?
It was the first time I even heard of her,
no.
so I have no idea.
Same here. So I think that's kind of a wasted opportunity that
I was thinking that too, because the JLA eventually gets a couple shamans.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone remembers like this version of the JLA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it ain't her. She ain't one of them.
Yeah, so it does kind of seem like a wasted opportunity. But overall, do you want me to score it 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, or what do you want?
Yeah, like 5's the highest.
5's the highest, and I'm talking the overall series here. Because another thing that I think too is, and I mentioned this last week, in issue 1, we spent half the issue setting up the story. And I thought that something would really come to it that's going to tie it back together into that first part, and the only thing that they really did is say, well, she's the granddaughter of those characters, you know, that they introduced. But man, for half an issue just for that was a little disappointing. So out of 5, there were parts of the story I enjoyed. There were 2, you know, the first issue and the 4th issue I was pretty much bored with. And the art was iffy. I'm going to go 2 out of 5.
Yep. I'm going to say,
what do you think?
This was not good. I did not enjoy the story at all. 1.5 for me.
1.5
across the board. This is not fun.
And Tim's like, I'm going to give it 5.
No, I'd probably give this story a 3. I mean, the art wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't terrible. And I think there was a lot of good things about the story. It just wasn't executed.
There wasn't a need for plastic. He served no purpose.
Well, I mean,
Jade.
He's comedy relief. You know, like Claremont could throw something in there, like them turning that water into a supernova, right? Something you could probably look up theoretically and it would make sense. But the final ending, he like shoots her with Martian vision and that activates her fire powers. Like,
and he doesn't die?
Yeah, I don't like weird things like that. You know, almost, you know, just plot armor, like a way to end it real quick. I think it would have been better as maybe a 2 prestige format single shots and cut a lot of the fluff out. But I mean, it wasn't a bad story. I enjoyed it both times. So a 3 right down the middle for me.
Interesting. We're all kind of all over the place.
So this brings us to our book show, and also for you guys a chance to shout out your socials, what you have going on your channels and all that. So let's throw it over to Ryan real quick to start it off. We'll just go clockwise again.
Sure. My book show is an action figure, and I think this is going to surprise you guys. I wanted to pick something that I didn't think was very predictable. But this was something that I won in an Instagram contest early this year. And from the Crisis on Infinite Earths action figure series line from Wave 3, I have the all-new Dr. Light action figure.
Ooh.
Oh, I love that figure.
Yeah. And in this wave, as you'll see on the back here, we had a Superman, a Batman, a Huntress, a Dr. Light, and I don't know. Who's that guy up there next to Batman?
Oh, that's a Weaponer. Weaponer Cord.
So those were the figures in this wave, but I do have me a Dr. Light in my collection. So happy about that.
I bought that figure, and when I took him out of the box, his head just fell off, and it wasn't like where you could pop back in. Like it looked like somebody had chiseled through the neck.
Oh my!
You know, yeah.
As for my channel, earlier this week I dropped a video where I opened up some of the Marvel Walmart packs that have been the hot thing lately. I opened up 4 3-packs. I had an AOK unboxing on there from NX7062 as well for you Star Trek fans. And it's not a Star Trek item, but she's kind of a Star Trek focused channel, although it's not exclusively focused on Star Trek. And coming up on my channel, on Tuesday afternoon, I will drop an AOK from Hoarder's Hide. That also includes a Super Russ 9000 prize win via Comics with Murdoch. So that video drops Tuesday afternoon. There should be a cover by video scheduled for Friday morning. On Instagram, the Lost Comic Book Challenge is still continuing. So that's kind of what's going on my channel.
Awesome. And real quick before we jump to Tony, I do have links to everyone, including Foo's YouTube in the description. If for some reason you're not subscribed to any of these gentlemen, go do it. They all make a very different and varying excellent content.
Thank you.
With the emphasis on the different.
Yeah.
Everyone's much better than me. Let's see. For book show, we'll kick that off. I tried to get Justice League themed. There's a couple of books I wanted to show, but I think I'm going to wait for them. So I went with Convergence Justice League International #1, signed by Mike Manley. And I also have the second one signed by Mike Manley and Joe Rubenstein. And what's great about these is you kind of get the cast of this current Justice League. We have Martian Manhunter, Jade, Wonder Woman. Actually, that's kind of it.
Yeah, I think they fight the Kingdom Come universe, don't they? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's Kingdom Come universe for this one, which is kind of cool. I forget what Earth this is, but they fight the Kingdom Come universe. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, these are that's my book show. It's pretty cool. As what's coming up on the channel, I just did an AOK unboxing. I got 2 AOKs like back to back, so that was pretty cool. I go from getting none to getting 2 at the same time, which is kind of awesome. So check out that video. It is very cool. Double high five to Magic Lasso for thinking about me. I would show those books off, but I want to give everyone a chance to check out the video, of course. I'm going to be a little selfish, but I was blown away by the contents of the box. And you can even see back there the little string hanging down. I now own a Magic Lasso.
Awesome.
It's pretty
Did
cool.
either of you catch my comment at the end?
Huh?
Did either of you catch the comment at the very end of your premiere?
I missed it.
Oh, never mind.
I have to go back and check it out now.
And you didn't find the lasso threatening?
No.
Oh, okay.
Should I interpret it that way?
No. Apparently it has been, but
did you see my comment, Ryan? My comment was every one of those lassos has been used on a victim.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think it's cool. I thought it was a nice touch. I thought it was really cool. It was very, very Magic Lasso-esque. It's like signing, your name at the
personalized,
end.
Yeah.
It's very personal. Yeah, just tie a yellow lasso around it. Even if I didn't know it was from you, you'd have been my first guest. So anyway, it's
exactly.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
And
thank you very much.
You're welcome. And Tim, before you go on and wrap up the video, no one has mentioned it yet, and I do want to acknowledge that Friday is Tony's birthday. So happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's also my daughter's birthday. We share a birthday together.
Oh, wow.
So does that mean one cake that gets shared or 2 different cakes?
Well, she's still kind of young, so we haven't quite figured that out. So, she's young where cake matters. You know what I mean? So I'll let her do the cake. I pick the dinner.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to have, I know, you're going to have one of those Justice League boxes again.
I am not. You know what I want for my birthday? To not have one of those ever again. That's what I want for my birthday. I'm still having flashbacks for that. But it's going to be fun. Also, don't forget, Batman Day is the 18th. So head out to your local LCS. Support them. There's going to be all kinds of free Batman goodies, I imagine. So mark your calendars. It's going to be awesome.
Before we're completely past Tony, it ain't that we make better content than you. We just have more free time than you. If you had the time, you'd be pumping out good stuff too. So.
I know, because I'll be sitting if I'm working from home, you know what I mean? I usually try to catch up on videos on one monitor while I'm trying to work. And at the office, I can't really do that. So I'm usually working away and I'll get an idea just out of blue. I'll just be like, dude, that is a sick idea for a video. And then I'll figure out how to way to do it. And then I'll be like, man, I got to figure out a way to do that. And if I could have like a box of ideas, this room would be nothing but boxes of ideas. I've always come up with cool ideas. I could just never do them. So who knows? Maybe someday I'll get the time, but probably not, since we're expecting a second child. So at least for the foreseeable future, I'm probably just going to be the idea guy.
Oh man. Having a second child is amazing, and it's terrible at the same. Like when I just had my first one, it was like, me and my wife would talk like, this is so easy. Like I thought having a kid would be hard. It didn't feel like it messed with anything. It just like she just went with you, normal. And that second one came, and it was like everything fell apart. Everything was, feeding them become hard, changing them become hard. Like everything was suddenly a hassle.
You and I are in
we're a little older. It's not as bad.
The same boat. We're the only men in our household. So
yeah,
and I'm heavily outnumbered here, including the dog. The dog's a girl too. So I'm drowning here. That's why I got this little space right here. This is mine. They can do whatever they want out there. I don't care. This little prison cell. It doesn't look like it's a small room, but I can touch both walls by doing this.
Yeah, my big one was like, I told her to go to her room, and she's like, go to your room. And she's pointing at this closet. Like, this ain't my room. This is where I keep my comics.
Right? That's funny. Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, Friday's my birthday. Appreciate the birthday wishes. It's weird sharing a birthday with your child. I was born. She was born 32 years and 15 minutes away from me, so it was like it was right there, minutes apart. It would have been cool.
Wow.
But, and what's funny is this second child we're expecting is supposed to be born a day or two away from my wife's birthday, so it is very possible the same thing could happen to my wife.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty fun.
Flashpoint hasn't been on recently, for those that don't know, for some medical reasons, and we're always thinking about him, wishing him well. But he had a child, this year, actually, earlier this year. Mm-hmm. Do you know he would not let me name the child? I asked.
I can't imagine why he would do. What would you name my daughter?
Wally's the best name.
Well, first of all, I do want to say that the due date was like the day before my birthday. And I said, well, that could easily fall on my birthday. And I said, if it falls on my birthday, I should be able to name it. And that morphed into, I should just be able to name it regardless.
Yeah.
But what would I name?
You've already named like 5 kids, right? He has like a whole litter of them.
My wife will automatically veto whatever you're going to say, but just for fun.
For fun?
While you're thinking of that, I'll tell you this. I asked my wife, hypothetically, if we were having quadruplet boys, would we name them after the Ninja Turtles? And why would we? And my wife said, no, that's stupid. We would never name them after the Ninja Turtles. I was like, why? If you have quadruplet boys, you have to name them after the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Diana's a great name.
Yeah, I knew it. You were going to say Diana. I knew it.
Hey, you know what I was telling Flashpoint? I was saying Hippolyta and Antiope.
Those are very unique. I'll give you credit for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever find another Hippolyta anywhere.
Yes, but this is the same person that wants to name a dog Reba McEnbeekle.
Reba McEnbeekle. I love it. Yeah, so if you guys ever, see my wife on social media, tell her she has to name her 4 boys that she'll never have after the Ninja Turtles.
All right, well, I'm going to give my shout outs real quick and we'll call it a wrap. But of course, my YouTube if you're here. It's Tim_the Comic Collector on Instagram. I did a bunch of collection videos and plan to do more. And tomorrow morning, sort of following suit with Ryan, but especially I collect a lot that I see here in the chat. He did a video doing some DC Walmart packs, and I didn't know they had new ones. And of course, being a father, like we talk about, I was going to Walmart to get diapers or something anyway today. So I picked up 4 and have pre-recorded opening those up tomorrow.
You're talking about the ones with the masks for DC in the
Yes.
back, right?
Yep.
They come with masks?
Yeah.
And you can see what mask you're going to get though on the back, right?
Yeah. I got 2 of the same Joker and 1 of the old school.
I want one of that.
I remember those.
The Selena Kyle Catwoman. I want one of those.
I have one. I let my daughter play with it. She tore it up. It's somewhere.
So yeah, that's what I have coming up. I'll probably do another Justice League collection later on in the week. And before we go, for everyone that's here, you guys have been here all show, so you need to know next week should be on Comic Food 2814's channel. And we always say should be in case someone has to miss for some reason.
And then this is what will happen when it hits 8 o'clock on the dot, regardless of where we're at. He's cutting it off. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Next week we just gotta like.
Next week
I think we're starting Day of Judgment. So if worse comes to worse, we could just do 1 issue.
No, I don't want to start that on Comic Food's channel. If we're just gonna blow through it because it's awesome. You mean Day of Vengeance?
Yeah, Day of Vengeance.
Yeah, I don't want to start on Comic Food's channel. Maybe we'll just all do a solo book.
We see if we do that. That's 4 books though. You know, if we're pressed for time. Yeah. We'll talk about it in the chat. If he does have to leave early, we might just skip him until Walking Dead.
Or maybe we start the show, a few minutes earlier.
Yeah, something like that.
Could do that.
But we'll let you know. I'm sure Fu will post something if we have to move it from his channel, but it should be on his channel next week for those who follow the show. And I think that's all we have. We appreciate you watching, and that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Peace.